What's up guys, and welcome to a brand new video today. Basically what I'll be doing is I'll be answering all the questions that you guys left on the F1 2016 announcement video. So just going through all those questions and trying to clarify a few things that I might not have covered in the original video. So without further ado, let's get into some of your questions. The first question comes in from Brodia212, and he says, can you choose every season the team you want, or is it only for the first season? Basically, how I understand it is, it's a 10-season career mode. At first, you have the choice to choose any team that you want for the first season. And then after that, it really comes down to your driving. So, it depends on where you finish in the standings, who you beat in the season, whether you beat your teammate, whatever. And if you exceed the team's expectations, then that's going to determine the kind of contracts that you'll get for season 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I suppose there may even be affiliations for, say, example, you're driving for Toro Rosso, you may have a higher chance of getting picked for Red Bull. So that's the kind of thing that will be happening in this 10-year career mode. So to answer your question, for Season 1 you can choose any team, and from then on it's ultimately just down to your driving. Alex F1 2005 says, can your engine blow up? Now I tried this in the kind of beta testing I did in March, and I tried as hard as I could not get the engine to blow up. Angel Navarro says, Ben, F1 2016, is it on the Xbox 360? Unfortunately it's not. With the way that games are going these days, they're all developers are just edging away from the old gen console. So only on Xbox One, PS4 and PC for F1 2016, unfortunately. It's not really unfortunately, is it? Because the games these days, it'd almost be a disservice to a recent game now to put it on old gen. It'll almost take away resources from making the game better on the newer gen consoles. Next question comes in from Laniz YouTube. He says, I have one question for you, Ben. Do you know when the game will get released? Now, Codemasters did say it's going to be coming out in the summer of 2016. That's in Europe. So their summertime could be from, I think it's, summer for them is June, July, and August. So I'd hazard a guess to say that it would be August sometime. Maybe mid-August, maybe late August. Maybe the 31st of August if they really want to be absolute trolls with us. But I think it will be mid to late August if I had to place a bet on it this year. I think I got the consensus from the Cody's employees that 2015 was an ambitious release date, how early they put it in the year. So I think it's going to be slightly later than July, somewhere towards August. That's what my general estimation would be for this year's release. Next question comes in from Sasha. Is damage going to be more realistic this year? Basically, I can't say just yet. There have been changes to the damage, and I suppose we're allowed to talk about that at a later date, so there'll be more to come very soon. Matosaurus Rex 69 says, will there be a name I pick on the car, and will it be on the racing suit? So your driver number will be on the car. I assume it will be on the driver's suit too. It would be cool to have your name as well on the driver's suit, like on your, I think it's on the waist or something. Depends on what kind of team you're at, but as far as I know, your name will be on the car and on the driver's suit, but don't quote me on that. Simeon says, is it just me, or can I see from these initial screenshots that these are the 2015 cars with a 2016 reskin? That is true. The 2016 cars, the whole CAD drawings and all the specifications and everything, complete replica of a 2016 car. That wasn't in the initial screenshots that we got. What we had was 2016 cars that looked like 2016 shell on the 2015 car. So the assets for 2016 haven't been fully made yet, so Codemasters did their best to give us what they have so far. But when the game officially gets released, whenever that release date may be, then we'll have the 2016 cars. AJ Fast 12 says, are we able to live the life again like in F1 2010 and in F1 2011? Yeah, basically you do have that live the life driver lifestyle back. Hospitality area, having your team all around you, having the your agent come towards you and you interact with them. Also your engineer, R&D engineer as well. They all come together every race weekend. When you're on your laptop, you open it up and you get all your press clippings, or all the news and stuff and all that kind of thing. And yeah, they're just trying to immerse you in the world of Formula 1 once again. So hopefully it is a lot like that, and especially since you are your own driver again, you're essentially getting that lifestyle You're organising contracts again, so in just about every way, it is like live the life, I believe. Timu says, can you change the team during the career mode? Like if I started from a backmarker team, can I switch teams later? Of course you can. If you drive well enough, if you exceed the team's expectations and your agent has been doing their job properly, then they'll look for try and source some contracts for you for the next season. And yeah, it just depends on your driving really. If you drive well, then obviously you're going to attract attention from higher teams. And then, of course, Season 2 or whatever, you can change team. Or if you like and you want to build up your team higher and higher with the new R&D upgrades, you can make your team better than others if you spend enough time in practice and upgrade the car enough. But yeah, you can move teams as much as you like, I suppose, from season to season. Dominic says, can I be a safety car driver in F1 2016? Unfortunately not. This was something I asked Codemasters when I was at their studio back in March, and I asked them if they could do something like MotoGP games do, where you have like this safety car game mode. They said that it's fundamentally possible, and they have the car characteristics of the safety car. They actually source the handling characteristics of that car properly, just like they do for all the other F1 cars. But I don't think it's their intention to do something like that for 2016. However, Lee Mather did say that it would be something really awesome to implement maybe in the future, who knows. I think it all comes down to licensing as well. Joey says, in F1 2016, is Verstappen still riding with Toro Rosso, or is he going to be with Red Bull? Just curious. Now, in the past, the way that Codemasters have sort of based their season, the teams, the cars, the drivers' performance, all that kind of thing, it's normally based around the first Grand Prix in Melbourne or in Malaysia. You know, normally at the start of the season, but since Verstappen moved teams so early on in the season, and it is like a major thing for this season, I feel like common sense tells me that Verstappen will be in Red Bull for the start of 2016 when the game releases. Because the way that 2015 was, there was live updates, and that included the way that the cars handled, the way that they looked, and you'd have to say that driver changes would be part of that. So I have the inclination that Verstappen will be at Red Bull for F1 2016 launch. David says, given it's 10 years, do you get other drivers other than yourself switching between teams as well for career mode? Fortunately, no. Just the way that FOM is, they're really strict with their license. They don't want drivers to be driving for different teams. I don't think sponsors like that all too much either, so a little bit of friction with the way that the game is handled that way between the fans and also the corporate side of Formula 1. So, you know, the fans, we want to see like all the drivers switching between teams just like in FIFA or something like that. That would really like liven up the career mode, but unfortunately it's just the corporate side of FOM and just F1 just doesn't really permit that at the moment. If Codemasters had their way, I'm sure they would have you know, driver transfers and all that kind of thing. That would really be an awesome thing for the F1 game franchise, but unfortunately, just with the way that things are now, with the permissions and the FOM's license over Formula 1, not going to happen on 2016, unfortunately. Tom Butt says, can teams overtake others in terms of performance? For example, Mercedes going from the best team to the worst team, for example, that would be quite the change in form over a couple of years. First off, I'll answer these questions individually. Basically, if Mercedes does somehow, out of some miracle, does absolutely terrible in terms of R&D development, then yes, they can fall down the pecking order if the likes of Ferrari or Red Bull are out-developing them in the development race. So Mercedes can slip from first team. It's unrealistic to say that they'd become the worst team, but they can slip down the order a little bit if others overtake them in the development race. Question 2 is, will all the drivers stay the same? Will Jenson Button be 46 in Season 10 and still driving? Yes, it is my understanding that the drivers will all stay throughout the entirety of the 10-year career mode. But I don't think that will affect their stats or anything like that. I believe it's only just the cars that will develop as the seasons go on. And third question, will Season 10 cars be much faster than Season 1, or will the upgrades enhance your performance over other cars, not lap times? So, yes, with the development that goes on, Season 1, all the cars will be slower, theoretically, than cars from Season 10, because after 10 seasons, 5 seasons, whatever, the cars are only going to get quicker with development. So yeah, it's fair to say that the cars will get faster. And the second part to that question, yes, the upgrades will enhance the performance. It's not just a lap time or a timer kind of thing. I think when you, for example, you're in Force India, you've got quite an understeery car and you upgrade the aerodynamics a couple of times, you will start to feel a noticeable improvement in the way that the steering is through high-speed corners, that kind of thing. You will feel the difference. I felt it in the half a season that I did, and I only had a few hours with F1 2016 at that point. That was like one of my first days on the game on career mode, and yes, I did feel a slightly noticeable improvement in the upgrade. So yes, they do work. Onion63 says, the real question about career mode is, can Red Bull fuck you over mid-season? Technically, yes, they can. The way that your agent works, and the way that the career mode is set up this year, you have like objectives to meet over the course of the season, and if you do bad enough, you'll get fired. Like, that'll be it. So technically, you can get fucked over. Norbert Mester says, will we have ultra soft tyres? Yes, we will. Only at the tracks that offer them. So Monaco, I'm not too sure if it's Canada as well, but yeah, whatever track offers ultra soft tyres, you can choose to use those, and I believe you can choose the allocation of how many sets you want for the weekend. Of course, that feature when I played F1 2016 wasn't in yet, so I'm not too sure how that's going to work when the game actually comes out. Victor, or Vita Hugo, says, and the classic content. Unfortunately, no classic content for F1 2016. However, I got the inclination from Codemasters employees that they do want to return to that sometime in the future. Movie Critic says, if you do a full 10-season career mode, will there be actually any change in terms of the drivers? So are people like Jenson Button or Alonso going to retire? Now, this is slightly different to the question that I got asked before about driver changes. Will drivers retire? No, I don't think so, but I think it would be awesome if they could. Like, say, for example, Jenson Button and Alonso retire eventually after a couple of years. Would it be allowed within the FOM license to allow the reserve drivers to come up? I think that'd be pretty cool, and maybe potentially still within the realms of licensing. It may be slightly easier to promote, say, I don't know, John Eric Verne to Ferrari instead of like having Lewis Hamilton go to Ferrari, for example. So I think that'd be pretty interesting, but it'd be tough to work in for Cody's with the way that FOM is at the moment. Mackenzie Stewart says, are you able to select the R&D parts you want to upgrade? Say your car was weaker in aerodynamics, you can focus on getting better aero. So yes, that's exactly what you can do in R&D. Say you build up your points over a couple of race weekends in practice, and you can specify, okay, I'm feeling like my car is a little bit weak now. I want to work on aerodynamics. I think you've got about 5 different slots of upgrades to buy in every single line. So aerodynamics is one of them, engine performance is another. You can definitely buy any kind of upgrade that you want, so long as you can afford it. I was just trying to remember if you could buy, like, you could do 2 upgrades for aero in one weekend, for example. I'm not too sure if you can do that, but more relative to your question, yes, you can choose any area that you want to improve on your car, so long as you can afford it. And the way you have to do it is you have to do it linearly. So you'll start off with your first upgrades for aerodynamics, for example. The first upgrade will be, let's say, 100 points to upgrade, but you can only go for the bottom tier. You've got 5 tiers of it. You can only go for the first one at first, and then once you've bought that one, you can buy the second one, and it incrementally gets more expensive. But I also believe it gets, like, every single upgrade gives you even more performance every time you upgrade it. So yes, you can choose any kind of area that you want to improve your car on. So that is really exciting. Michael Wilt says, will there be helmet customization? Yes, there is. There's going to be a whole set of different career mode helmets to choose from. There will be ones similar to what the actual drivers have in real life, and then there'll be some custom liveries on top of the helmets, and then from there you can choose the color designs that's on the side of the helmet, on the top of the helmet, whatever. Choose the colors, and then that's your career mode helmet that you've got to use, and I think you can change that at any time as well. So guys, that's going to do it for the questions today. I tried to answer as many as I could and tried to answer them in as much detail as what I could as well. Hopefully your question has been answered, and if it hasn't, maybe leave it down in the comments down below. Maybe I can address it in the comments, or possibly even in a future video once more features, more whatever gets revealed, or whatever. If you want to see more of these videos, and also let me know down in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave a like on this video if you've enjoyed. And until my next video, guys, I'll see you next time.